welcome to News Review brought to you by Wizomia Television. I am Ayomiko, and you know what we do on this platform. We tend to bring the news to you just as it's dropping. And you know, several stories have made it to the headline, after which we'll be going straight to the hot picks. I have with me Mofi Folua in the studio. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Apparently, I know what she's facing right now, and if I had the opportunity, I would have said, send me your account details. But then, you know, it's better you just call Rexy or Wizzy.
Actually, I don't even want you to send money to my account. What I need right now is cash.
Oh, wow.
Because I have no cash on me and I can't even eat. I can't do anything.
Okay.
So it is cash I will not.
I actually have abundance of cash, but then I'm not Darusha that will just give anybody anyhow. So the first 20 comments on this show, exactly, the first 20 comments on this show should come to our studio to get cash, 20,000 naira cash each.
Wow, amazing.
Amazing.
Are you sure help for this?
Of course,
All right,
of course.
All right, let's see.
Okay, let's get straight into business, and we're having several stories popping from different newspapers. And we'll be starting from the Vanguard newspaper. On Vanguard, we have the following headlines. Naira redesign mops up 1.8 trillion naira from currency outside banks. Elections. U.S. Embassy alerts citizen in Nigeria on possible protests. Controversies, trial, mysterious explosion in Kogi State. Elections. Police deploy 7,000 personnel in Edo State. I am ready to sacrifice my senatorial ambition for Obi or term. Petrol price sold at 257 per litre, rose by 55% in January, MBS. The Punch newspaper has the following headlines. 4 days to poll, Naira chaos grounds economy. Labour Party supporters end amputated after attack at Obi's Lagos rally. Anglican leaders host Archbishop over same-sex marriage decision. How high stopped Obasanjo's third term bid in National Assembly, Atiku. Monkeypox, Nigeria records 789 cases, 8 deaths. Passengers groan as NRC insists on cash transaction. The Daily Post has the following headlines. Terrorists bomb Kogi local government offices, days to election. Banks, business owners count huge revenue losses amid the Naira scarcity. Naira swap, Ganduje labels CBN policy COVID-23. Court dismisses suit seeking sack of IGP Alkali Baba Usman. Naira scarcity, Governor El-Rufai denies plan to demolish bank. Presidential election, APC will win 25 states, Peter Obi, Atiku helping Tinubu's party, Kalu. My political ambition not worth blood of any Nigerian, Atiku. NPFL IMC suspends 3 SC official for urinating on pitch, fines club 500,000 naira. The Nation's newspaper has the following headlines. Atiku not contention, says Senator Adeyemi. Federal High Court begins 5 days break. And that is all we have on the headline for today. Thank you very much for staying tuned with us. And once again, I am Ayomiko. Are we ready?
Of course, of course.
Okay, we'll be starting with this first note that reads, I'm ready to sacrifice my senatorial ambition for Obi. And who says that? Ortom. Governor Samuel Ortom of Benue State said he is ready to sacrifice his senatorial ambition to ensure the victory of Peter Obi in the forthcoming election. And he actually disclosed this while addressing members of the Igbo community in the state on Monday. He said that yes, the form was bought for him by the people of Benue State, and he is not even contesting an election. So I've gone around and they have accepted me that they will vote for me. But if I am to sacrifice my senatorial ambition for Peter Obi to win, so shall it be. He says that he knows that if any group of people are connected in this world, they are the Igbo. And this is the opportunity you have to say that an Igbo man from the southeast is president, among other things. He actually said that that is why when I hear the prominent Igbo personality castigating Peter Obi for contesting the election, it's not you people that have been saying you have been marginalized since after the war. Then the opportunity has come for us to take it, and you're still complaining. What else do you want? What are you looking for? The whole country, north, south, east, and west are saying Peter Obi, and you, yes, some people say we don't want it. Abba, those people should be outcast. And I feel that this is just coming after, if you should recall vividly, that Atiku is the presidential candidate under Autumn's umbrella, PDP. But then, for the G5, the integrity group, of which we have Sheyi Makinde, we have Wike, and we have Autumn and two other people from the People Democratic Party. And now he is choosing his own stance that is going with Peter Obi, even though Sheyi Makinde and Wike are seeming to have gone with Tinubu, and we don't know what the other two are saying. But he is even saying to the extent that he's willing to sacrifice his forthcoming election as a senatorial seat to just make sure that Peter Obi has the election won.
I think that's just to reinstate the fact that if you want to support somebody, then you should be ready to compromise and whatever is going to cost you to make that person win. I mean, not rigging election now. As regards your own efforts to make the person win, of course, you can go ahead and do it. But then he said, I am ready. Now, if it means that I am going to sacrifice my senatorial race, now, the if is just like, if the possibility arises for me, he has not said I will sacrifice my position for this person to win. And the process of sacrificing your senatorial position, I mean, what correlation does it have to do with Obi winning the election?
I feel if he has to sacrifice his own seat for Obi to win the election, maybe at that point he's already trying to conclude that even though it's looking like I might not win, at least this person has to win. So he's trying to, just give his 2 cents about the whole election.
But according to the old statement, the old breakdown, he said the people actually bought the form for
me.
And he doesn't even need to, start campaigning or going through an election or anything. The people want him there. So there's a very high chance that he's going to win that senatorial race. So
maybe what he's trying to say, though I don't see him stepping down.
I don't see him.
And all of this thing is just like trying to, mold the words to make it
just camouflage.
Exactly, to make it
somebody that had to, fight the party for so long. Because Ayu and Atiku's running mates, they were there and they did not want them there. For somebody that could stand up against his own party's presidential candidate, for somebody that did not endorse his party's presidential candidate, he's not saying he would leave his space for somebody else. I mean, no. See, of course, I am not saying he has not said well or anything like that. He can, he has his own choices. He can make his choices. However, we are not fools. We understand what happens in our political class. Let me put it that way in Nigeria. We know how things are done
and how things work.
If it was somebody else that said this, I might not have been relating this to the whole crisis in the People's Democratic Party. However, for somebody that did not agree with his own party, he's not saying, okay, if it means me stopping going into the Senate because of somebody from another party, fine, he's an Igbo man, I just want to support him because he's from my tribe, but then he's not from my party. So I would, no, it's not realistic.
Then, okay, I think I want to get it now. This is actually coming from the stance of, normal is supposed to be a member under PDP. But now he's supporting someone in Labour Party. So him saying that even though it means him, forfeiting his post, that means the PDP can come up and say, for the fact that you're not supporting us, then we're removing your name or something like that from our party. Denouncing him from the party at the end. So that will actually make him not be able to go for the race. And That's him forfeiting his seat, obviously.
All of these people, they are just trying to, oh, if this does not work, this should work.
Let me at least.
So if Peter Obi emerges as the president,
of course, he has a seat.
Of course, he has. In fact, they will just make him the minister of state affairs,
or maybe the ministers of laughing,
and joking.
Because you can just create ministerial posts like that.
Basic. Everyone is just trying to fight for. If this does not, the same thing Ahmed, who was this person that wanted to, he was part of the presidential candidate of APC, and then he did not win. He went back, and Machina, he went back to the state and all of those things. They're just trying to pick positions for themselves. If this does not work,
let me try this other way.
Exactly.
Okay, petrol landing cost rises to 282 per liter. Oil is $90. Marketers raised diesel price to 355 naira to 360 naira, and the upturn in the global crude oil prices has pushed the landing cost of premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol, imported into the country to over 282 per liter. According to reports, January 14, diesel price increased further to 350 naira per liter in some filling stations in Lagos, and then on Wednesday, that was yesterday, the mobile filling station along Lagos-Ibadan Expressway sold the products for 360 naira per liter, while Ohando, Enyo, and Fat Beans filling station sold it for 355 naira. It was also reported on December 23 that the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation spent a total of 1.16 trillion naira on petrol subsidy from January to November. Citing the data from the corporation, the subsidy, which the NNPC prefers to call value shortfall or under recovery, resurfaced again last year, if you should remember, and it's supposed to be having a pump price of 162 to 165 naira per liter, but then it actually moved and skyrocketed to 209.61, of which that was not even the basis, because as at January 20, the expected retail price was supposed to be 299.94 per liter instead of 162 that is supposed to be before the hiking in price. But right now we now see a lot of food stations selling for 400 naira, 500 naira and above. So according to the analysis at the CSL Stockbroker Limited, in a report on Tuesday, actually said, while it remains unclear by how much the commencement of the active local refining will reduce the landing cost of petrol, the chairman of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, recently disclosed that the refinery will begin operation in the third quarter of 2022, starting with the capacity of 540,000 BPD. And Nigerians' daily demand for the refined crude oil was estimated to 442,000 BPS in 2018, which still comes below the proposed initial capacity of 540,000 BPD. And many other modular refineries are also expected to come on stream. But right now, we are still banking on the Dangote's refinery that is coming up, and that is still in the third quarter of 2023. So we're still anticipating if that would work
or not.
Because I think it was supposed to be, it was supposed to be third quarter of 2022, of which did not start, and so we're still anticipating that it will start by now, because at least the daily needs of Nigerian is around 600 or 60 liter, 600,000 liter per day. At least that will be able to get
to circulate
round for everybody. But the problem now is, even with the removal of subsidy and all of that, we still have problem because of the cost of importation, the refinery and all of that. So we're looking forward to.
If the refinery does not work or does not commence production by whenever they want to start, what happens to us?
That means we have to continue, that's actually, I think I saw a news where it says that the food scarcity may actually hit harder very soon.
Yes.
And of course, this is just an illustration to back that up.
Maybe because of the naira scarcity, we are not looking into the fuel scarcity anymore. Because right now, we even need money to be able to get the fuel we want to, fight about and all of those things. I was actually hoping that, by, last year, December, the whole thing was getting eaten up. I was hoping that by the beginning of a new year, everything will be certain and all of those things. But with time, it's either the oil marketers are saying, hey, it is NNPC that did not give us products, or the NNPC saying we have enough products, so we have distributed it. You know, the way CBN and federal governments are doing with Naira is the same way oil marketers and NNPC they are doing with this fuel. I don't understand. It's not like, see, sincerely speaking, let's be realistic. It's not like the country doesn't have enough fuel to go around, yeah? But I don't know, maybe some politicians, because we've heard of some certain rumor, or let me say, you know, it's been flying around that some people actually behind the oil scarcity, both Naira and fuel scarcity.
Yeah, sure.
So we are not even sure as to why they are doing all of these things. Fine, it might be for their own, you know, trying to fight each other, but then it's extending to Nigerians.
But for the full scarcity, yeah, right now, it has not even reduced a bit. Fine, a lot of people are not they are not taking cognizance to the full scarcity.
And that's because people don't even have money to get the fuel. So we have to fight for the basic one, which is money. We need cash to go. So a lot of petrol stations are not even accepting bank transfers. They need cash, and I don't have the cash. I have no business with the filling stations. So we need the cash to be able to get the product, the fuel. So when we don't have cash, of course, we can't even cry about the scarcity of petrol and all of those things.
So right now they need to work on the fuel scarcity as the same way they are working on the Naira scarcity. Everything just needs to be worked on, because this fuel scarcity of a thing has caused more harm than good. And it's not only the fuel that is now scarce. We have every other product, like the diesel. You know, imagine the hike in price of diesel from the is now being sold for 355 to 365 per liter. And most business owners, especially the ones that has to do with manufacturing, make use of diesel because of the poor power supply in the country due to the national grid that is always falling every day. That we don't even understand. So we just actually need to do better. The NNPC as well as the government just need to do better. And here we have Ganduje, Kano people suffering from COVID-23. You know, when I saw this headline, I just had to sit back and, you know, think, ruminate about that COVID-23. So I actually thought it was COVID-23 in its rich sense. Yeah. But then I had to read through and I got to know that it was just about this Naira redesign. The governor of Kano State, Governor Abdullahi Ganduje, has said the effect of currency redesign policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, and the attendant cash crunch problem on the people of Kano is just like that of the COVID-19. And he said that is the reason he has just tagged the whole situation to be COVID-23, which is caused by CBN. And indeed, the governor who said the currency redesign policy has affected all commercial banks, POS, and ATM in Kano, and all other things described by the policy as COVID-23. He said this while giving some kind of palliatives at the government house to the people, and it was like, we didn't invite this situation, neither do we pray for it. And just the way we actually shared palliatives in during COVID-19, we're doing the same thing today for COVID-23, of which was caused by the CBN of Nigeria. And he said this virus has actually been disturbing the economy and the well-being of the people. And he mentioned, of which I actually love it, I will quote and unquote him, that he said, our candidate, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has promised Nigerians that when he is elected in the forthcoming election, he will make sure that he puts a stop to the current hardship. And the governor said that Kano, being the most populous state in the country, is the most affected by the unfortunate development. And he said that the beneficiaries of the palliatives are from all the 44 local government areas of the state. And right now, with what he has just said, that their own candidate has said that once he comes on board, then he will end the hardship. Is that just telling us that at the end of the day, we'll still have to go back to the spending of the old Naira notes?
No, he did not say I would end the hardship by doing this. Yeah, sure. We don't know what measure he's going to put in place to end hardship. Okay. Whatever measure, about is just end hardship for us and let us be fine.
But the problem he identified was that the COVID-23 is affecting. And the only COVID-23 is about the cash crunch problem as well as Naira scarcity, all of that. So now he's now saying that that's the hardship they're facing, the COVID-23. And he said that their own candidates have said that he would end that hardship.
So logically, are you trying to say that it would end any form of naira
redesigning. That's
so
just, that's just what I can bring
go
from
back
them.
into spending the old notes, and I wouldn't want us to put it that way.
Okay.
Until he comes out to say this is what I want to do, or a spokesman or Festus Keyamo comes out to say my presidential candidate said this before we can conclude. But if we look at it logically, when we start breaking down the words into simple terms, it could actually mean what you just assumed.
Yeah. Okay.
And Ganduje likening this old problem to COVID-23 is actually right, because we all know what we faced in
During
2020 during COVID. I mean, everything was just tough. And at that point, let me be careful to say that the hardship we thought we experienced then, I don't even think is as much as this.
Not.
Because then there was money. The only restriction we had was
Movement.
we couldn't go anywhere. We were just at home.
We couldn't have our party.
Of course, we just could know our social activities were, subdued and all of those things. The only thing was we couldn't move. We couldn't leave. There were movement restrictions. That was the only thing we suffered. We still had money. In fact, we still had intervals of days we can actually go out to withdraw.
Days when there is no COVID.
When COVID is not flying around, the next day COVID will be flying.
Yeah.
So we were still fine. In fact, it was 2020. Some people realized their own talent. A lot of people got online, online businesses and all of those things.
Exactly.
People invested and everything was just fine. But look at us right now. Everywhere is just being vandalized. We don't even have money. It is naira to naira rate at your side. Fuel scarcity. Everything is just disturbing us. So
Ganduje.
Abdullahi likening this whole thing to COVID. Yeah. Although it is not COVID, but this is like a disease that is eating us deep. It is not disease in the medical term, yeah. But then it is something that is eating us deep, and we can't just talk about it because it is affecting everybody. Even I don't have 5 naira with me. I don't even I'm going to sort myself for lunch. For a lot of people are not even taking bank transfers. I made a particular transaction on Sunday. I almost washed place for that woman because they already debited me. They did not credit the woman. I just had to be there for hours. I couldn't leave. Imagine that kind of thing. For how long do I want to keep doing
that? Obviously, so, it is a virus, and it is more or less like COVID-23.
In fact, it has become a cankerworm. It is eating us deep. We just need to sort it. And it's okay saying that is their own presidential candidates at Bola Ahmed Tinubu has promised to end hardship. Fine. If Bola Ahmed Tinubu wins the election and that is his aim to come and end hardship, yes, let him end it. If it's somebody else that wants to end hardship, let the person win and end hardship. I don't even care right now. I just want Nigeria to be fine.
Of course, of course. Exactly. Even if we don't even know anything about COVID-19, we know that during COVID-19 we can't enter the bank and you have to stay outside the bank and start taking numbers. That is just replicated in this 2023. If you want to go to any bank, you have to stay outside and then they start giving you number. Your number can be number 600 and it's just 7 a.m.
Get to the bank by 7 a.m. You're
exactly
getting 250.
Exactly.
I'm like,
and at least during COVID, if you should find your way to enter the bank, you will get the amount that you want.
Of course,
but this one, if you were to even get to the bank, if you needed 5,000 naira, you might just be lucky to have 2,000 naira. Okay. Court dismisses suit seeking sack of IGP Alkali Baba Usman. A federal court, High Court in Abuja on Tuesday, has dismissed the suit seeking the removal of Alkali Baba Usman as the Inspector General of Police. The suit instituted against President Muhammadu Buhari and 4 others by an Abuja activist, Michael Sam Udoku, was dismissed by Justice John Omotosho, and in his judgment, he actually invoked of the Police Act 2022, which puts the tenure of office of any Inspector General of Police at 4 years. And the judge actually said that the retirement of Alkali Baba Usman from Nigeria Police Force has nothing to do with his appointment on the grounds that the 4 years tenure is sacrosanct. So besides, Justice Omotosho actually said the plaintiff who claimed to be a social crusader has no jurisdiction in instituting the case under the guise of public interest. So right now, it is now being said that the IGP can continue his work even though he has retired, since the president is willing to have him, still continue his work, as well as for the safety of the country. and also for the fact that he has 4 years, and his 4 years has not even elapsed yet.
It has.
It's not. It's just his retirement.
Okay, yes. And for another fact that it's an appointment.
Yeah, sure.
The fact that before he was appointed, I'm sure whoever appointed him at that point was going to look into, when is he supposed to retire? When, if I appoint him right now, when is his term going to end?
Okay.
And judging with the fact that even if he has retired, his 4 years is completed and all of those things, we are in a delicate time in Nigeria. At this point, if you start appointing somebody that doesn't even know how to go about all of these things, they will start deploying police officers everywhere. You already know his people.
Exactly.
He knows how to give orders. He knows how to, go around it. If they appoint somebody else about 2 months to the election, the person would have to start learning, start getting familiar with the officers and all of those things. I'm not saying it's not possible, but for a country like Nigeria where everything is just messed up, let me put it that way, we just need to be very careful and follow some certain things, even if it means us not following rules directly, but then some things should just be left like that. If after the whole election, if his 4 years is supposed to elapse by May, and after the whole election everything is fine, they can make him just leave the office. All we want him to do is just do your job well as the IGP that had been familiar with the whole doings of the country. I mean, this is election period. Nothing should, in fact, anything that would tamper with security agencies and all of those things should not even happen.
Of course.
Because right now we don't even know if we say we want to appoint somebody else, we'll start getting nominations. A lot of people will start writing names like, it is my cousin that should go there.
My person that should go.
And at the end of the day, what if that your cousin is working for a particular politician that does not want the success of the whole election? So we just have to be very careful. At this point, let him do his job concerning the forthcoming election by Saturday and March 11. And after the whole thing, if he wants to leave, let him leave.
And even considering the fact that the election is just by the way, we need to concentrate on all the things. And just the way the judge actually said, this particular Michael person that is, that is projecting himself as a particular person that has the interest of people in mind is just a camouflage to some extent. We have other things that you should have sued the government for. We have the Naira redesign issue, we have the policy issue, we have the banditry issue, among other things you should have sued the government for. It's not a flimsy idea like this. And for the fact that he has not even completed his tenure. When it comes to the basic tenure, he was just unlucky that he retired while still in service. So for that fact, you shouldn't even be parading here and there trying to say that you want him to be, it's even late.
If actually they actually found charges on him, or he had done something wrong, or he didn't do his job well, something like that, and he can start moving the motion.
Though he has some things that he has done wrong.
You don't get my point. At that point, now these old charges not because he did something wrong.
No.
It's because of his retirement and 4 years stuff. So basically, they should just allow him finish this whole.
And even what makes us feel like if another person should take the position from him, we'll be able to do better than he has been doing. He has done his work, but to some extent, he did not meet up to the targets, for what we want for Nigeria when it comes to security and all of that. But who knows? Maybe the next person you bring will not even be as strong as he is.
He's one that will be giving ransom to terrorists.
And for the fact that Buhari even knows what he's doing, so we should just let it slide. Okay, before we continue proper, we would like to go on a short commercial break, after which we'll be right back. Please stay tuned.
Sweetheart. I can't afford to be late for this meeting.
Give me the same excuse every day.
I always tell you the truth every. You know I will never disappoint you.
Everyone needs a hero like Nokpa.
After Nokpa,
It is always Nokpa.
Nokpa for management of power.
Thank you very much for staying tuned with us, and this is the News Review brought to you by Wisdom Television. I am Ayomiko, and from where we stopped to, we're moving straight down to the news, where we have IMC suspends 3SC official in viral urinating accident, fines club. Why should you? Like, why should you?
On whose part? Is it on the official's part?
The urinator.
Oh, if there's a word like that.
Exactly, if there's anything like urinator. Okay, we have in the wake of a viral photograph of a shooting star sports club, 3SC, official urinating publicly on the pitch prior to their match day 9 fixture against Oka United. The Interim Management Committee, IMC, has fined the club and suspended the official Awal Muhammad. Davidson Owuming, the head of operation of the IMC in a summary jurisdiction, noticed that that was sent to 3SC, charged the club for failing to control the conduct of the official and further admonished the club to management to take steps to curb an occurrence of such. And so there is actually a 2 separate charge, and the first one is the breach of Rule C1, in that before you start the match day 9 fixture between 3SC and Oka United, your camp commandant, Aoua Mohammed, was spotted urinating on the pitch, which is so despicable and capable of bringing the game to a disrepute. And the second one is the violation of Rule C9, failure to control the conduct of your club official, which resulted in Aoua Mohammed urinating on the playing pitch of the full glare of the public where everybody was. And they were also charged of 500,000 naira. The body, or their club, was fined of 500,000 naira. I wouldn't have added this news to what we talk about, but then we've seen that Nigerians, because this is a local football match and all of that, Nigerians, we have so much of bad character. When we talk about public etiquette, to some extent, we lack the basic. Even
if somebody lacks
basic
public etiquette, not as much as urinating on the pitch.
Just see, urinating on the pitch is just like the same way he would have dropped from his car and urinate on the road.
It's different.
Okay.
Now, you see, he's an official. He knows he's not like a random person that just goes into the stadium just to see the match and all of those things. Even a random person would not do that kind of thing.
On the pitch.
So people are so sad. You know, the way Yoruba gives you the in-depth meaning of a particular thing. If I say sport, I mean, it's just so uncalled for. You went to the circle, the middle of the pitch. You know how these players, they run, they fall, they do all sorts of things on the pitch. And you had the temerity to go and do search. Thank God they had to suspend, although it's for a but then
look at that scenario.
It's just so uncalled for. I don't know.
He actually would affect his football team, because there are chances of continuing the game is slim.
Yeah.
They have been suspended, and also they will be paying a fine of 500,000.
Now you see, his own suspension, the official's suspension of 1 year, it's okay by me. But finding the club that they did not tell the official not to,
And there's a rule.
There's a rule, yes.
That's it.
I'm sure the official is as well aware of the rule. And it's not possible. Is it possible for a particular club, they would have their coach, the captain, they will not start, please don't go and urinate on the pitch. When the whole thing
it's
is
just a common sense.
It's just common sense. The whole thing in their head is just to know how to win the game, the match. Is it then you will not be running after somebody that, even when I'm sure some of them might have actually seen him moving on the pitch, they'll be like, maybe he's just trying to walk around and all sorts of things. You see, this is one thing I say about adults. When somebody does a particular thing and then you blame somebody else for it, am I supposed to, okay, let me say I'm like the coach of the team now. Am I supposed to be the one to tell him not to urinate on the pitch? He has just, used his own to, how do I say it? To
destroy the whole success of the forthcoming match.
And at that point, of course, the 500,000, if they want to do, they should remove it from his salary. If it means he's going to pay it for a whole year of his suspension, or however he's going to do, because that's just so embarrassing.
But let's even forget about the football pitch. And Nigerians, to some extent, we have some bad character, bad habits. Some Nigerians don't have character, they don't have moral, they don't have behavior.
I'm sorry, I so much love Ibadan people. You see Tosibi Koyawere,
no.
Tosibi Ko, you know, a lot
All
of things.
things.
And those places you see Tosibi Koyawere, people will still urinate.
Of course.
I mean, it's just
Nigerians
will
just do some things and you'll be like, stop it. You know, I get the fact that you will actually be so pressed, but then no matter how pressed you can be,
there was no bathroom
exactly.
Going to the maybe village people.
And this thing actually happens with guys. Hey, they'll come for me.
It does that. Okay, imagine a female going to the middle of the.
It's not even possible.
It's not possible.
It's not possible.
If somebody had actually told me, or somebody had told me to, you know, envisage that kind of scene, I would have said, no, it's not possible. Even for a guy, for a male, it's not possible.
Where everybody was even watching him.
I mean, it's just so stupid.
Okay,
exactly.
Please, we just need to do better as Nigerians. This is just one thing. When people want to address us Nigerians and all of that outside the country, they tend to feel like Nigerians, they are dirty, they are this, they are, and also.
I just hope my UK friend does not see this news.
Okay.
Look at you.
Okay. Federal High Court begins 5-day break ahead of the election. Chief Judge Justice John Toshaw directed the court's justices to sit up till Wednesday, February 22, before proceeding on the break. And the Judge Justice Toshaw directed the court that they should go on break ahead of the forthcoming election. And I think that's actually a very good thing to do. If the judges, the justice, can decide to go on break, I feel every citizen of Nigeria should actually observe that break just for them to be able to, you know, participate in the forthcoming election, as well as ensure their safety. Because when we look at this forthcoming election, I've said to several people that it's sometimes we might feel like it will go this way
and it
ends up going this way. Fine, I do pray for a very free and fair election, but the same way we're thinking forth, we should think back that what if this happens, what's the solution? So just trying to provide solution the same way the body of education decided that the students should go home so that they can be safe under their parents and to avoid all kind of things that will happen during the election. These people are doing this election in a way that it's a do or die affair. They don't care. Though I saw in the news earlier today, the article said that no Nigerian's blood is worth his political success. And I think it's reasonable enough, you know, trying to tell Nigerians that don't say because you want to support me, you want to make sure that I win this election and kill yourself. The same way I always say, don't let anybody kill you. If you're still alive, there's still hope for you that you can still, even if it is coming with hardship, you can still see through. There are some certain people that did not even make it up to 2023 because they are dead already, and so they can't even complain about Naira scarcity. So you have the opportunity to be alive to this moment, and you can complain. The ones that are dead cannot even complain or even exactly. So please, no matter what you're doing for the forthcoming election, guide your own safety first. Your safety, your family safety, your life safety, your sanity safety is very important. And before you start clamoring for one person or the other. In the other news, we actually saw a particular Peter Obi, a Labour Party supporter that was attacked in Lagos, and then they had to amputate his hand because that was something that he actually suffered a loss, an injury during the rally. The rally was around last 2 weeks. And look last week, and look at him having to go with an amputated hand because of what? Because of election. So
if he actually registered
he has to use the other hand
with the right hand. It has been cut off.
It has been cut off. So they need to just go with his facial. You know, the BVS are just to go with his facial and his card. So we need to be very careful in the forthcoming. Very, very careful.
And there is a very high probability, very high chance that there's going to be movement restriction.
Of course.
So before then, just be very, very careful. If it is not very necessary for you to go out or for you to travel or for you to move from one place to another, I don't even think practice would hold this week. If it is because some people, they can't just do without going for practice.
Yes,
if it's not very necessary for you to move out, just please stay indoors. And come Saturday, the only thing you have to do is leave your house to your polling unit
with your PVC and your ID card.
Yes. With your PVC, and if you have any form of identification or anything, or just hold it. you might not even need to hold cash if it is unnecessary, because when you start seeing money with you, they might want to collect the money. As regards the fact that there is naira scarcity, anything that will make people want to attack you, don't even do it. And for the ladies, now I'm signing out here. For the ladies, please, when you want to, some people don't wear trousers. I'm not, what's the word now? I'm not preaching it. I'm not saying,
advocating.
But just wear something you will be comfortable in.
That you can gbé body anytime.
So that you'll be able to run. Yeah.
Exactly.
Anything you're comfortable in that will make you, be very smart. Yes, that's the word. Anything that will make you very smart. Just make sure that that's what you're wearing on election day. Because I just pray that may we don't become victim of bad circumstances.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah, that's it.
Just the same way Mofin has said that we should go out in a very smart outfit. Our mothers, we know that you like to take your children wherever you go. This is not the time. If you're going out to vote, leave them at home. Excuse me. If you're going out to vote, leave them at home. It's not time for you to start packing bag and baggages, just because you want to go out. Exactly. You don't need them. So you just have to go in a way whereby you can always carry your body anytime. You get A like this, you're already in your room. We will not be a victim of circumstance by the grace of God. Thank you very much for always staying tuned to Wisdom Yard Television. I remain Alao Ayomiko. And until next time, we're leaving you with a peaceful atmosphere as well as a lot of joy, peace, and happiness. Bye.